What's up, guys? It's JohnReavesLive, and today I am so freaking excited to start our BTS week journey. It is a long time coming. I've been doing the BTS reaction videos now for about a month on our channel, and I really don't know a lot about the actual members of the band, and I always like to deep dive into band members whenever I really get into a band. So for BTS, it's a long time coming for me. We're going to check out the first one, RM. We should have just posted a solo song of his, so please check that out if you haven't yet. Also, please make sure you hit the subscribe button before you get into this video, because you might forget by the end of it. And if you do, we're freaking going for 50,000 subs by the end of the year, and if we get there, we're getting a BTS logo tattoo. Boom! Freaking doing it. Guys, this is a longer video, so we're going to cut the intro a little short. I'm going to go for it from here. Let's check out the introduction to our guy, RM. 3, 2, 1, boom!
Kim Namjoon, or RM, is known as the leader of the most popular K-pop group in Korea. But that's the thing, he isn't just the leader of a successful boy band from Korea. He's the leader of one of the most progressive, revolutionary, open-minded, intelligent, and artistic musicians in the world. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of understanding and appreciation on how RM leads this group, the sacrifices that he makes and the victories he secretly wins, the failures he publicly suffers, and the youth he practically had to give up just to lead BTS. RM isn't perfect, far from it. Like any other person in the world, he was a child once, and he didn't always know what's right or wrong. He didn't always have the right answers or the right questions. He didn't always know how to properly act, respond, talk, or probably even think. He didn't always know himself, but he always knew what he loved: music. So let's talk about it. The struggles he went through to get to where they are now and who he is now. The mistakes he made and the lessons that he learned. His past and how it helps to shape his present. The obstacles that he had to overcome and how it shaped him to be the leader, artist, and person that he is now. Well, at least a side of him that he wants us to see.
Nice. Let me just say this while that's going on. As a kid, and especially, I grew up kind of doing live shows from high school, which is an early age in your life, regardless if you think that or not. High school is just the beginning. But I got out of high school and I was on tour. I was in a metal band. I was playing a lot of shows, and I was like 18, 19 in my 20s. And I made a lot of bad decisions with like friendships and stuff. Not necessarily things that I would be ashamed of myself for doing now, just I didn't handle things the right way. Maybe I had an ego at the time. I could have handled a lot of things differently. And in my case, luckily, it wasn't on a huge world stage like his is. So any of the things where she was saying like where you might not have had the right questions or not had the right answers, it's because of experience. You just learn the things through trial and error, and even on a grand stage like they are, you're going to learn stuff like that through trial and error. So
for one, disappointing experience in society.
반 1등을 넘어서요. 전국 1%였다는 랩몬스터는
Any Asian would know that expectations come with talents and skills and blessings. Our culture has an attitude of gratitude, and with gratitude comes the obligation to give back. If you have something special, it is because you're supposed to use it to serve other people, not just yourself. So imagine the amount of guts it took for him to tell his parents he wanted to rap instead of study, despite having 148 IQ.
어머니가 이제 아무래도 안정적인 길로 많이 가라고.
To Asian culture, defying thousands of years of tradition and belief and practically rejecting the call to serve is not just rebellion, it's arrogance. But for him, it wasn't. It was passion. So he gathered the courage that he needed to tell his parents he wanted to rap. And look at him now. Korea isn't the only one benefiting from his genius. It's the whole world. Number 2, pressure of millions of dollars of investment. Big Hit built BTS around RM. That's a fact. He was first member, and all other members taken in were hinged on whether or not they will work with RM. Every investment Big Hit made was all because of RM. On the cusp of bankruptcy, imagine how an adolescent would feel knowing you and you alone can make or break an entire company.
oh my god,
All employees working there and the families that rely on them. And if you think RM wasn't aware of the magnitude of the pressure, he actually ran away from the group 6 months before debut.
이게 제가 데뷔 직전인가?
RM has always been aware and empathetic and sensitive. That is his greatest curse and greatest blessing.
That is awesome.
Number 3.
I really
That
like what he
guy's
was saying
older
right
than he
there.
is.
Like, just because Rap Monster fails doesn't mean that he has, or just because Rap Monster succeeds. Like, they're two different people in his mind. It just kind of helps him separate his ego from his stage presence. And that's really cool.
For a country whose culture is centered on respect towards elders, this is beyond challenging. It wasn't easy. 3 of the members are older than he is. Jin was in fact already in college when he joined the company. RM was barely out of high school. He later on admitted he felt he crossed the line a lot and allowed his ambition to dictate his actions.
미안했던 점, 윤경한테 내가 미안했던 점.
Even in the face of obvious victory, his humility gets the best of him.
특히 되게 초반에도 그렇고 좀 뭔가 이제 해야 된다는 이제 의무감이나 책임감에 이제 많이 사로잡히면서 좀 이제 그 여러 가지 말들을 할 때 이제 뭔가 좀 버릇없게 얘기했던 적도 솔직히 좀 있었던 것 같고 어떻게 보면 단체로 얘기할 때 그래서 이제 그래도 형인데 뭐 싶은 이제 그런 생각들.
But if we are to listen to the members, the love and respect they have towards him, it is apparent he didn't simply do a good job. He surpassed all expectations, and then some.
저는 남준이를 참된 리더라고.
I think oftentimes we are our own worst enemy. Him having like such remorse for any of the times that he slipped up, that's like a really good, strong example of a leader. Like, they need to be remorseful of things that they've done, their faults, but also be able to forgive themselves eventually for these things and to move forward and to learn from the things that they've done. And you can tell that everybody in his band respects him and respects him as a leader as well too, regardless of the age.
이야기하는 거지만 중간에서 이렇게 조율을 하는 거는 그런 사람이니까 그렇게 가능한 거예요.
맞아요.
나나 진짜
가수로서 아니면 그냥 사람으로서 아는 형 동생으로서도 닮은 점이 너무 많은 형이고. 물론 자리도 리더이기도 하지만 똑같이 한 멤버라고 생각이 드는데.
Number 4, overtly sexual contents.
Oh God.
Pre-debut, RM covered and wrote songs containing lyrics which people perceive to be overtly sexual. Expensive Girl and Trouble are 2 of those.
Take it off now, girl.
None of the lyrics imply anything non-consensual. Let me just clarify that. The criticism was mostly on the fact that he was talking about sex at all. Let's remember that RM's orientation is rap, and many of the rappers that he was listening to openly talk about sex. At that time, he was 17, and not a lot of education about the true origin of hip-hop. Add to this the fact that Korea is still, at least verbally, a very conservative society. He has another song in 2015 called Prometheus. It was a collaboration with a few other
freaking looks
rappers.
awesome.
Each one represented one of the 7 deadly sins, and RM got assigned lust. RM has
I gotta
always
see
been
this
an
video now.
outstanding lyricist, and he perfectly captured how lust can transform a sacred thing like sex to something dirty. But instead of being recognized for his poetry and his artistry, he got criticized for being a pervert. Number 5, owning up to his mistakes. Big Hit released a statement apologizing for all the mistakes BTS made. But RM didn't stop there. Instead of hiding behind the defense of his agency, RM manned up and directly addressed it. In March 2015, RM did an interview with Hip Hop Playa, and he talked about some of his past issues with cultural appropriation. Here is an excerpt. He didn't stop there. January of 2017, RM did a 25-minute V Live where he apologized for his past actions and promised that he's doing his best to be a better person.
See, like, I feel like a lot of other musicians or like famous people would probably hide behind their record label, and it's been shown that they have done that numerous freaking times. But the fact that he got on, this is how you should handle any issues, I feel like, in life. Like, maybe not do a 25-minute V-Live video. There's other ways to do that, I guess. But for him, that was his best way of doing it. He needed to address his fans. I don't know exactly all the accusations that were against him or whatever things that he had done wrong that he felt like he needed to apologize about. But the best way to do that is to talk about it. And if you have other people talking for you, it looks disingenuous, number one. And then number two, it deflects any of your responsibility. He just got out there, did a V-Live for 20-something minutes, they said, and talked about it. Now it's probably cleared up. I freaking love that he did that. Also, another strong example of a leader.
Number 6, growth. And the apology wasn't just lip service. Aside from his obvious immersion in art, his support for charity, he showed just how much he was growing through the most sacred thing in his life, which is music. But let me get one thing straight. Even before all of these apologies and all of these controversies, RM was already demonstrating his maturity. I'll get into that later. September of 2013, BTS released a music video of their song No, criticizing the education system in South Korea. Being one of the main composers and lyricists, he criticized how the demanding and authoritarian nature of the academe directly leads to the high suicide rates of youths in Korea. This is markedly different from other K-pop groups who avoid all social issues for the most part.
I like that about them a lot, the fact that they actually stand up and talk about huge issues, because they've got such a huge stage as far as just a big platform to speak off of, and they're using that to better their culture and the world, honestly, because they just spoke at the White House. So
he further demonstrated his maturity when he admitted that he consults with several experts on social issues, including but not exclusive to women's rights professors, to objectively examine his lyrics. July of 2016, a famous Korean feminist, Eon, who Namjoon is still friends to this day, tweeted shortly after the misogyny controversies and said that Namjoon regularly meets with him to talk about how he can grow as an artist and as a person. Number 7.
That's so freaking cool.
LGBTQ support. RM tweeted liking a song titled Same Love, which is a song about homosexuality. May of 2015, RM and V appeared as guest judges on an episode of Star King. One performance is a group of flamboyant gay men. All other male judges besides the two immediately voted the group out. Afterwards, RM and V were asked why they didn't vote out this group. RM said that he was impressed and complimented them in their choreography. Again, RM demonstrated his maturity. He saw people, artists, not flamboyant gay men. June of 2016, RM wrote and released the song I Know, which he sang with Jungkook. It is a love song to all of their fans and features lyrics about loving both female and male fans. But what many don't realize is that this song was released a few weeks after a huge controversy about South Korea rejecting gay marriage. December of 2015, RM and Jungkook did a cover of Choi Siwon's Fools. September 2017, RM wrote the love song Serendipity, which is Jimin's solo song. He
Spoiler alert, anybody that's listening to this, and please pause it and then comment this on that I'm about to tell you, but we actually are reacting to that song later on, and it's even cooler to know that RM wrote that song. We're actually, it should be coming out this week. That might be the solo song. Possibly. It is. I'm telling you right now. It's the solo song. Okay. All right. It's Jimin's solo song.
He wrote it to be gender neutral. In Billboard, he said that he intentionally did it that way because love transcends gender. Number 8, becoming a student of their art. July 2014, BTS films a documentary mini-series called American Hustle Life. ARMYs either love this or hate this. For obvious reasons, it was painful to watch a boy band from Korea get schooled by a black rapper. I just want to pause this video to address concerns about my use of the term black rappers. I acknowledge that it sounds racist, and hurting or offending people was never a part of my MO. I acknowledge that I should have explained it better, but please know there was never a malicious intent. It is in fact necessary that I use the term black rappers because they, the African Americans, own the culture of hip-hop and the genre connected to it. It was painful to see someone who owns the culture school or scold Asian artists that I obviously stan. Their validation is important because they own the culture and the genre. Applied to a different situation, if a white person tells me I suck at Korean culture, it will not affect me. But if a Korean person tells me I suck at Korean culture, that has weight on me because it is theirs and I love what they have. The same thing with hip-hop and rap. A black person's opinion has more weight on me because I love what they have. It is not to say that BTS should not have been immersed in the culture and the genre. I am firm in my belief that anyone who makes a living out of rap or hip-hop should pay their respects. We may not fully comprehend what it really means, but continuous learning is necessary, especially if one is making a living out of it. It's just that in some of the situations in AHL, I feel like they could have been mentored and schooled in a different way. I also want to note that I read somewhere that Kuyo and the other mentors were told to be harsh on BTS. I can't find the literature anymore as it has been so long ago, and I also can't verify the validity of that information. To those who left messages of support in the original uploaded video, to those who were angry but reached out for clarification before making their judgment, to those who suggested what I can do, thank you. Thank you so much. I hope that by doing this, I am able to return a small part of the big favor you did for me. Especially.
Wait a second. We're going to talk about what she just did there. That is exactly what I'm talking about that RM did earlier. She, look, do I feel like what she said was a mistake? That's irrelevant. But do I feel like her owning up to it, her being addressed by obviously a lot of her viewers, addressed that situation with her, and then what did she do? She obviously redacted that video and then put that whole statement in there. She talked to the people directly. That's from the horse's mouth. She apologized for it, and then she told you guys where she's coming from, or she told her viewers where she was coming from. And to be honest with you, that means so much more. Most of the times, whenever we have something like that, where we've offended somebody, it's not normally coming from a place of anger or hatred or animosity. We're not trying to offend other people. It's either out of ignorance of our own personal, or it might be misinterpreted. And so we get to clarify those things. That is what I was talking about earlier. And it just so happens she did that in this video. I really like that she did that. Very cool.
That boy band. K-pop has always been a money-making industry. There weren't a lot of efforts to understand the actual culture of the genre that they are using. This was a huge reality check, and BTS was the subject. Surprisingly, RM seemed to be the only one to recognize Coolio when he suddenly showed up. Coolio got right down to business, asking BTS some basic questions about the origins and history of hip-hop, whether it's because they were nervous or clueless, but the room got very quiet. The message was clear. There were lessons to be learned. And this is where you should see the character of RM and the rest of BTS. Instead of cowering, they rose to the occasion. There were lessons to be learned and they were willing to learn it. Since then, RM and the rest of BTS changed from being a boy band to being one of the most aware musicians in the world.
That's cool.
Look,
That's very
I'm
cool.
not saying that AHL is the only thing that made them the kind of musicians they are now, but it is one of the most pivotal moments in their career. And it's not because of the kind of treatment that they got from the artists and the rappers that they met in AHL. It is because of how they responded to the challenge. Number 9,
I like that a
attacks
lot.
from his physical appearance to death threats. July of 2015,
What?
during BTS's Red Bullet tour, death threats were made against RM across all social media. And I know that some people would just
my
relegate it
God.
to a bad joke. But for a teenager like him trying to make a name in foreign lands, this is something very traumatic. December of 2015, Namjoon uploaded 2 selfies. So many people commented on his looks, calling him ugly. Racists hated him for his looks and dark skin, while anti-racist people hated him for his past actions, even though they were the past and that he already apologized for it. There were also a lot of infamous cases where people at fan events actually just flat out called him ugly. But in true RM fashion, he didn't allow it to faze him. He earned the respect of industries and institutions like Rolling Stone, the Grammy, and Billboard to prove to everybody that no, he's not ugly. He is in fact one of the best musicians in the world. He is one of the most handsome men in the world. And he's a thoughtful, intelligent artist. Number 10, he opens up about depression. Like his decision to defy expectations by rapping instead of pursuing academic excellence, he defied social norm by openly talking about depression and suicidal thoughts. Asia was, still is, not very accepting of depression. Is usually relegated to being drama. Emotional support's primary source is supposed to be family, not clinical doctors, but RM decided to shed light on the truth about depression. January of 20...
Speaking of depression, I have a lot of that in my family. Like a lot of my family, my mom suffers from it, my sister. I've got a lot of really like close relatives that suffer from either bipolar disorder or manic depression, which is the same thing, I guess. I don't know. I've heard it said like this a few times. You would not tell a diabetic to not take insulin because it's in their head. It's the same thing. Like a lot of people don't produce their own serotonin, and I think that's missing with my mom. And it sucks, man. It sucks a lot. So my heart goes out to anybody that's suffering from that. Just know that we're all in this together, and you definitely have somebody to talk to. If you're watching my video, you guys can comment, or you guys can message me on any of my socials, and I will always get back to you guys. So you're never alone in all these things. I can definitely relate to you, and message me. That's what I'm saying. You guys also, Army, very huge support system, and I freaking love that. So you're never alone in these things, guys. So if anybody ever needs to talk, you got your boy John Reaves here.
17, RM uploaded a song called Always. The lyrics are pretty graphic. Around the same time, fans discovered a song titled Suicide, also written by RM.
I don't believe they cheddar. Honestly, I'm falling up the ladder. Maybe this song will be my last.
Shortly after the release of the song, RM did say that does not represent his thoughts anymore. Uploading it was his way of moving on, saying goodbye to that part of his life.
대한 안녕이라고 해야 될까요? 그동안 슬펐던 제 자신에 대한 goodbye.
October of 2018, RM released his second album, Mono. Every song on the album marks a different place in RM's recovery and struggles with mental illness. Some songs, like Tokyo and Forever Rain, are a little darker, but it does end with hope. Number 11, commitment to performance. RM and Jin are known to be the least capable dancers in the group, but let me clarify that they are not bad dancers. They're just not as good as J-Hope, Jimin, and Jungkook. But come on, those three are some of the best in the world. So there should be a recognition that because dancing does not come natural to RM, he still needs to work 10 times harder as the dancers in the group just to keep up, because every performance is a gift to ARMY. And damn if he's the one that will destroy their performance. He always wants to give the best that he can to ARMYs, even if it means putting up more time inside a studio just to make it perfect. He doesn't even allow injuries and pain to get in the way of his performance.
Jeez.
He knows and respects the fact that every person who appears in their shows and their concert spent their hard-earned cash just to watch them. So yeah, he's going to do everything he can to deserve that. Number 12, giving up the spotlight. Being the lone English speaker, RM could easily hog the limelight whenever they are in the US. Instead, he encourages other members to speak, even if it means slowing down the interview. Because to RM, his members are important. Their thoughts are important. Their voices are important. Other leaders will always hog the mic whenever they receive an award or they are in an interview, but not RM. He respects that everyone has the right to talk.
You guys taught me through your eyes, through your love, through your tweets, through your letters, through everything. You guys taught me and inspired me how to love myself.
That's awesome.
So I want to say one thing. Please use me. Please use BTS to love yourself.
RM seems to have it all now, but again, his greatest curse and blessing is his awareness. He is aware of the impermanence of their fame. Aware that for every wall they knock down, there's a much stronger one behind it. Aware that not everyone will recognize their legacy. Aware that they're humans. They evolve, they will change and move on. But RM wouldn't be able to lead BTS to where they are now if he is complacent. There are 2 more years before Jin has to enlist. Whether or not they will enlist together is still up in the air, but for now he is here, the leader, and will continue to put everything he has to do more. And no, you don't have to be a fan to respect RM. You just have to be human to recognize that RM's leadership, artistry, and humanity deserve to be recognized, appreciated, and respected.
That is insane that he's got that
우리가
many
목표로 하던
copyrights. That's
것들보다 더
so
많은
cool.
거를 이뤘기 때문에 우리가 왜 그래서 우리가 하고 있는지에 대한 이유나 막 그런 것들 얘기했었잖아요. 우리가 이룬 것보 우리가 하고 싶었던 것보다 더 뭔가 높은 걸 이뤄서 이제 이제 뭐 하지? 이게 아니라 그동안 남들이 못했던 거를 남들이 가지 못했던 곳에 갈 수 있는 그냥 저는 그런 티켓을 끊었다고 생각을 하고 싶어요. 문을 열었다고. 어차피 우리는 앞으로 더 이걸 할 거고 음악을 할 거고 무대 할 거고.
That is freaking awesome. And that's the kind of thing that you'd want to see from somebody that's so inspirational with music. That RM is such a good person and a freaking icon for a reason. That is amazing. And I would love to see that from more of the members of BTS as well too. We're going to be doing other intro videos to them throughout the week. I'm really excited to see what the rest of the band members are all about and what they're like. RM being the leader, I'm glad we started out with this one. My God, what a relatable, awesome, unique individual. Freaking legit. I love it. Guys, if y'all made it this far in the video, please tell me what the Easter egg was. I will not be upset if you didn't see it. It's a long video. We're going for it. The rest of the week, we're going to be doing videos. So please stay tuned, guys. We're going to be doing 14 videos this week. That's the most I've ever done on this channel. Holy crap. And we're shooting for freaking 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If we get there, again, we're getting a BTS logo tattoo. I keep on doing it right here, even though I've got a tattoo there. There's no way we can do one right there, but I'll do one somewhere. I don't know where. I hope you all have a blessed rest of the week. And if my portion of your week, my videos, makes a better impact on your week, please comment down below and let me know that it has. Freaking like the video, and I will catch y'all on the next one. And until then, spread some positivity, be awesome to one another, and freaking cheers!